Hey, Cam's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub boys run this sports town. Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E, two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show.
Welcome everybody to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big Bro rocking with you with Little Bro as always. And bro, we pushed the show back to avoid conflict with the Guardians game.
Nothing's happening right now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
We're just late.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll roll with that. We're just late today. No, we pushed the show back to kind of help out with the Guardians game, but as it is currently 5-1, we've decided to just go 6-1. We've decided to just go full steam ahead with the show. Shout out to Ray, rocking with us already, and Mom, she's in with us as well. Whew. So it's time for Guard the Lane. No, absolutely not. Yeah, a disappointing one, but as everyone
it's not over.
I know it's not over, but as a disappointing one seems to be unfolding, I just want to remind all of us that this team was not supposed to even be here. Okay, they punched above their weight class for the last month or so, and eventually you do run out of steam. That is just what it is.
Listen, we'll talk about it next week on like a recap.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get into
We'll have a full breakdown. What's going on, Pops? Drew is going to be in charge of score updates. Us is in the building as well. Shout out to you. Basically, Lil Bro is going to keep us updated on if we score. If not, he will let us know when they finally put us out of our misery. Without further ado, then we will skip ahead and immediately get rolling, bro. We had some news, Drew, that I quickly wanted to touch on. And I wanted your opinion on this real quick. We hadn't talked about it. It was major. I don't think it got enough play. Kawhi Leonard suspended by the NBA for an entire season due to the fraudulent business practices between him and the Clippers. Basically, the Steve Ballmer, the owner. Yeah, go ahead, Drew. Yeah, get back to me here.
Yeah, because I actually listened to the Pablo Torre, the reporter who broke the news. The podcast.
Pablo Torre is killing it right now, by the way.
Honestly, that's one of the things that I actually appreciate by ESPN kind of letting some of these guys go is because they're actually able to do kind of real journalism now and not just kind of fluff stories to get clicks. All broken by Pablo Torre and broken down at length on his podcast. If you haven't seen it, check it out for like full details. But the long story short is what he had uncovered was in the kind of length of Kawhi's contract, there was a supposed basically a deal with a company that had been giving him a lot of money. And he kind of dug into like what this company was and what it benefited from him Kawhi doing. And the more he dug into it, the more they realized Kawhi didn't do any publicity, didn't do any press, didn't do any advertising for this company, and was given, I want to say, excess of $30 million or something.
Yeah, I think it was 50 was the official number, and it was a car wash for the record. That was what the business was.
And I don't know if it was car wash. I think it was an environmental company from what I saw, at least from the thing. And so he had dug into this and then had gotten an interview with one of the coworkers who had basically kind of said that, yeah, this was just money that was getting basically funneled through the Clippers owner into this company and straight out into Kawhi Leonard. And so obviously this looks very sketchy. The
very illegal.
is saying very, very illegal in both in terms of the NBA and also the government. And so obviously the Lakers owner or the Clippers owner has come out and said he basically got swindled by this company and that this was more of a this is more on the company than of him. I highly doubt it, but obviously we're waiting for a full investigation here. But this is kind of an interesting one because obviously when you look at just the NBA side or just the government side, if this was just one or the other, this could be something where it could get kind of pushed to the side, to the wayside, get hushed. But because of this kind of two-pronged investigation that's being held by the NBA themselves for one thing and then the government for another thing, this could be potentially very, very damaging for the Clippers organization. Potential loss of picks, potential fines, potential voiding of contracts in a sense. And so obviously very, very early stages of this because they're not really going to kind of put out any statement until they get a full story together and a full, investigation is completed. But yeah, a lot to unpack, but also a massive, massive implication in terms of kind of how teams are starting to circumnavigate this cap, basically.
Yeah, bro put a lot of meat on it. I'm gonna get right to the sauce. Steve Ballmer's in trouble. There's going to be government officials knocking on that door. I don't know if you watched the news lately. They don't seem to be playing around. Yeah, so not good here. Yeah, contracts could be voided, fines, all kinds of stuff like that. I guess the positive is Kawhi doesn't have to worry about playing back-to-backs. That is completely out. Like, we don't have to worry about that. So no strain on the knee there. But still, a top 15, however, when he plays, however top you rate him when he's playing at his high level, a guy gone for the entire year. And now, in just a matter of, I think it's 10 years now, a second scandal with the Clippers owner, the first being Donald Sterling, who they forced out, and now with Steve Ballmer. I mean, the Clippers just keep on clippering.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like obviously the Steve Ballmer or the Donald Sterling one, it was one where we just kind of swapped in a new owner and it was all good to go. This one, I think NBA might make a statement of the Clippers to kind of put the league on notice as, hey, this will not be allowed to happen whatsoever. And so this could be a potential like franchise ruiner for a couple years just to make a statement for the rest of the league. And so I kind of feel bad for the fans there because they kind of it's out of their hands and now they're getting punished for it.
Yeah, that's a tortured fan base. Consistently in the shadow of not just another team. We're not talking like, oh, I'm the Angels and the Dodgers play next to me. We're basically talking about I'm a minor league team and the major league team takes all my fans away. It's crazy what happens there. But Drew, that's enough basketball talk. It's getting cold, but it ain't cold yet. So it's time to talk about some football. However, before we talk about football, I got something fun because upcoming here in November is the PAFL All-Star Game. And Drew, might be some familiar faces.
Oh, yeah?
What's up, Rapids fans? It's Ken Straub, your voice of the Rapids. And our first season is in the books, so now it's time to announce your 2025 PAFL All-Stars from your Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. And we start with the first team. Running back, Monte Taylor. Wide receiver, Sean Smith Jr. Defensive end, Josh Davis. Defensive back, Mari Mitchell. Defensive tackle, offensive line, Dustin Dodd. DB, Anthony Spooney. Offensive lineman, Corvez Bolware. Kicker, Bobby Rhodes Jr. And for your second team, Linebacker, Mark Hale. Wide receiver, Darwin Filey. Defensive back, Sham Wright. Offensive guard, defensive tackle, Nathan Pritchard. Linebacker, Boom Lumbus. Defensive lineman, DeAndre Stevens. Honorable mention, unable to play in the game due to injury, linebacker, Mike Marshall. Congratulations to all of our Rapids All-Stars, and stay tuned because the wave is spreading.
Oh yeah, baby. The
Looking
commercials.
it up.
The commercials. Oh yeah, exactly. Give me that. I appreciate that, Daniel. Gas. And we always appreciate the GM and player, Morgan Hill, for dropping in with us too. Salute to you as well. Appreciate that, Daniel. Yes, congratulations to all of our All-Stars. The draft for the All-Star game is coming up. Stay tuned. We may have some news to talk about in terms of other aspects as well. Oh, and all of my Rapids members, do not worry. I'm going to tinker with the video a little bit. I want to put the guys' names up, but I wanted to get that rushed in time to get that on the show today, but I will absolutely get that video out. That thing's going up on TikTok as well. So we got our All-Stars out of the way, so let's talk some football, Drew. And oh, what a week it was. We had our rapid fire. I'm going to call them our rapid fire results. We're running with our Rapids theme today. We got to talk about the games that we saw that were sneaky, and we'll run through those scores real quick. We're going to start with myself. Notre Dame 56, Arkansas 13. Man, who is this team? Who is this team? Rolling, baby. Bring on Boise State. Seriously, though, the offense, the only thing that impressed me, to be honest, is that the running game is rolling because, honestly, this offense has been okay, but only giving up 13 points? Only giving up 13 points to a team that has been able to score all year. If we run the table, are the losses close enough to get the Irish in the college football playoff, Drew? I know I'm sneaking way ahead.
First, I want to say I called this completely while you were hemming and hawing and being miserable last week.
Duh.
But, it's crazy what happens when you don't play a top 10 team. You actually look really good, and it's crazy how that happens. I mean, kinda. I think this is how you have to play the rest of the season, and then I think you got a good chance. But I think that's the issue, is that you were going to come up against a lot of good teams still, and I think you have to continue to play this way. Because listen, we'll give you the loss to Miami. It was a close game. We'll give you the loss to the Aggies. I think you should have won that game, but it was still a coin flip. You got to prove that you are improving week in, week out. Now, this is a great start, but you got to keep going.
I 100% agree there. Let's keep it rolling. Speaking of those Aggies, Texas A&M 16, Auburn 10, an ugly game, minus the fact that Le'Veon Moss had a career high 139 rushing yards and a touchdown. The difference between this A&M defense that played lights out the difference is this A&M defense that has absolutely played lights out. The question is, are they legit? And shout out to my guy, Sham. Sham, I'm going to definitely drop, like I said, I'm going to be dropping the, you scared me there for a second. I'm going to be dropping the All-Star Game commercial video after the show too. But Drew, is this Texas A&M defense enough to make you think that they are a legit contender in the SEC? Stop watching your TV.
No, old birthday balloons are starting to float towards the screen. So I'm pushing them away.
Just let them come on.
I mean, it's tough because as a avid watcher of college football on the SEC.
I apologize. I said what's up to Sham, and then I was dropping the All-Star, but a reminder, Sham, All-Star, DB. Wow.
But when you look at this A&M team, obviously there's some changes, and you feel like it's kind of turning a tide here. However, it's so hard for me to look at this A&M team and say there's a big enough difference for them to be carried through this SEC schedule, because obviously the offense looks good. It looks good every year, but sometimes they don't look great. And then the defense is really good, but it's been good in previous years. And then there's weeks that they just lose focus. And so, do they have the tools and just the basics and the bar basically to move and get through the schedule relatively unscathed? I think so. But history tells me that's not the case. And I think that's what the biggest problem here is. They have to now it's basically kind of like a team that we're going to talk about in 30 seconds and I'm going to laugh a lot about. It's you have now the weight of previous failures on your back, and that makes it that much harder to get through this. And I think that's what is really the determining factor to me.
The funny part about one of my preseason prediction was that parity has now come to college football in a serious way, is that every week we're having this discussion. Hey, last week it was Texas Tech and Missouri. Are they real? Is this for real? This week there's going to be another theme, and can this team hang on, basically? And that's the question for Texas A&M. Can the defense hang on? Here's another one. Indiana 20, Iowa 15. Them Hawkeyes almost got their yearly upset, bro. But Indiana threw a late 49-yard touchdown pass to get over the trap game, avoid the upset. Does this make you side-eye the Hoosiers a bit?
No, they avoided. I think you said it right. They avoided the trap game. I think that's the biggest key there is you always have one of these games where you have a big test the week next, because next week is Michigan for them. You have the big test, or no, I think it's Oregon. I'm sorry. You have the big test the week after. It's a tough defensive team. It's a team that you should win, but sometimes you get caught looking ahead. You're in a tough environment. No, they did what they needed to do. Even good teams have these games where they go, ooh, you should have beaten them by more, but you beat them. And I think that's the most important part here. And I think it also is a character building moment for this Indiana team where previous Indiana teams that maybe are just as good lose this game and they go, oh, well, I guess now we're fighting for third, fourth place and we're not going to. No, your season is still intact. Your season is still up for grabs. And I think it motivates this team more.
100%. Don't look now. The Guardians do have second and third with one on. We're just gonna.
Oh, look who's back. Look who's back from the depths of despair. Hey, listen, until they strike out the side, and then we don't get it.
It's still very much despair, just for the record. And you were correct. The next week, Indiana does play at Oregon. No, I do agree with you. I just I got to ask the questions. Okay, I'm doing my Kirk Fowler here. And lastly, our last game to watch. Big bro missed this one here. Iowa State 39, Arizona 14. Yeah, Rocco Becht watched the show and apparently took it personally because Arizona got dominated. Shout out to Iowa State, another team that we've asked questions. Are they real? Are they legit? I got a little cocky with Arizona, and yeah, my bad.
Yeah, listen, I like this Arizona team. I think they're a lot of fun to watch, and they have a lot of good pieces. But Iowa State is a pretty complete team from top to bottom, and I think that really showed. Rocco Becht, I know people, like I said, they've called him kind of a field general and a game manager. This kid can sling it. Obviously, he nails the dink and dunk throws, but I think that's just enough to get this defense. It's the game plan. It's to bring the defense in. It's to make them cover that middle of the field. And when you can get a long shot, he can hit those long shots too. And I think that's kind of what we saw in this game, where Arizona really tried to just stop that middle of the field, and they got burnt a bunch. And I think that shows how good of a Iowa State team this Iowa State team is. They have a little tougher of a test next week. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But
we'll talk about that.
great performance by these guys to really show, no, we're serious. We're not the Iowa States that get great and then stumble along the way. We want to be a part of this conversation come November, December.
All I'm gonna say is just stay tuned for some graphics coming up. Little bro's going to be proud. All right, let's roll through the rest of the top 25. We'll stop at the big ones. Ohio State survived an early test from Washington to take care of that game 24-6. Miami was off this week. And then we had the big one in I almost called it College Station. The big one at Penn State, Oregon, 30-24 in double overtime over Penn State. Drew, yes, they lost. Your whole thing has been, nope, I got to see you beat Oregon. I got to see you beat Ohio State. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Drew, they took them to double overtime. Still doesn't matter for you?
No, absolutely. This is what I think makes people believe in Penn State every year, is because every year it's a 3-point game, it's a touchdown game, it's a game that went to overtime, it's a game that went to double overtime. It doesn't matter, because you know what matters? That Oregon is undefeated and Penn State is no longer undefeated. That is what matters, because at the end of the day, the College Football Playoff Committee is going to go, oh, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. What these were the best teams in the Big Ten. What happened? Oh, Penn State lost to these teams, so they shouldn't be in the College Football Playoff. That is what is going to decide this game. And when you have a team that is consistently there every year, they have the same players playing for 2, 3, 4 years with the coach that's been there for 10 years, and you can't get over this hump. I'm sorry. This is where I go, no. I'm done believing in you, and I haven't believed in you in 2-3 years because you haven't done it. You need to win these games to truly make us believe, okay, this team has turned a corner. They find ways to win, because you know what good teams do? They find ways to win.
I might be like depths of despair, Ken, but you're sassy, Drew, and I like this. I appreciate that.
Team can't hit the ball.
Yeah, that either. Penn State quarterback is due to water. I think
he's not.
Just not questionable enough to be able to slide past the moderators. I was impressed with Penn State, just the fact that they hung in there with Oregon, because we know how talented this Oregon team is. It was basically a test to kind of see how good both of these teams were. I'm a little behind you, so I just now saw that. Thanks a lot, Hosey. But
I didn't. I know. No, I meant you're in front of me.
Well, I may have to take back what I just said. We'll see that in a second. I'll update everybody here when I'm done with my point. We really needed to see where both of these teams were at. And what I actually saw was there's not as big of a gap as there has normally been. Normally, even when Penn State loses this game, we're like, yeah, Penn State. I mean, to go to double overtime and even have a chance still was impressive. To do some updating, there was a bad throw to first base. Hosey did get on. It is now 6-3 Guardians. Yep, they are taking a look at it. As Drew said, got the headphones on. So we'll update after we give that a second to breathe. So yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Kind of same old, same old. All right, we move right down. Drew, we finally got him. It took us a couple weeks, but the only time that we come together as brothers to hate mutually is usually only when the United States men's national team does something or plays someone, or when someone plays against our beloved Brian Kelly. LSU goes down to Ole Miss 24-19. We've got all the time in the world to laugh at Brian Kelly, but here's the question I really want to ask. Is this more about Brian Kelly's inability to continue to win big games, not just one-offs, or is this more about Lane Kiffin going in and beating LSU? Or not going in, but going into that game and beating LSU?
If Lane Kiffin beat any other ranked SEC team, I'd go, yeah, no, Lane, that was a great win. I think it's a turning point because, yeah. And yeah, also thank you, Nate. That's a great, turn the page. He always loses kind of these top 10 matchups. Great job. I can't say that when you beat the guy that also does the same thing as you. So I can't tell if that's a good quality win or if you just didn't do the thing that you always do because the other guy always does it. And so that's the problem that I have. It's like, is it a good win for Ole Miss and they're going to jump in the polls and now you expect them to continue? Absolutely. However, I can't say you're legit because you just Brian Kelly out choked you, and that's all it is. Because both of you guys do it, and he just happened to do it. So good win, but not something that I can point to and say they're now past that point of losing these kind of games, because so does LSU.
Yeah, and we're gonna have lots of side notes that bump into the conversation today, so there's just going to be random baseball talk throughout this, so I apologize. Yeah, I do have to question our best players running on the base path today, as it'll be the second time he was thrown out.
The whole series, honestly.
Second time he was thrown out at second base. But yeah, I think that is hilariously funny. We can't give we don't there's no love for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin because he won against a guy who notoriously chokes against good teams. So yeah, it's a chalk. We'll go 0-0 on the scorecards. We'll see them both next week. Keeping it rolling. We had just massive games this past week. Georgia goes down to Alabama. Big Bro blew that pick big time. 24-21 losers in the big game to Alabama. Drew, what my real question here is about this. Less about Georgia. We know they would be up and down with the quarterback being young and not exactly knowing what we were getting out of the Bulldogs. We knew they would be good. We weren't. It wasn't like years have passed where we were like, they're great. They're great. This is the best team in the country. Is Alabama a team we really should go, wait a minute?
So here's my issue. I think for Alabama, if this was any other ranked SEC team, I'd say, okay, Alabama, let's see. I like the direction you're heading. It's gotta be that Georgia, Kirby Smart just has the yips against Alabama after all these years of losing to them in big games, or Alabama does some sort of voodoo ritual before the game and gets the gods in their favor, because it doesn't matter how good Georgia is and how bad Alabama seems to be. It seems that every single time Alabama just turns up the offense, turns up the defense, and Georgia just doesn't have any answers. And even if they do have an answer, Alabama strikes right back. And so I can't give it to either of these teams, because it seems like Alabama could have been at no wins, and this would have been the outcome, because that's how it's been ended up every single year so far. And it's crazy to me. Obviously, we're going to look at these teams next week and see how both of them respond. But right now, I'm kind of throwing my hands up here because, again, like you talked about earlier, parity. It's just kind of what happens in college footballs right now.
And no real dominant team in the SEC.
No.
So, and that's something we're usually talking about multiple.
Oklahoma.
Right. Multiple dominant teams in the SEC. Now we're kind of like, okay, they're all kind of good. Yeah. Parity in college football, as I talked about. All right, we'll keep it rolling. We talked about Oregon. Oklahoma was off this week, a much needed bye week for Mateer's hand. The upset of the weekend, Florida State goes down 46-38 in double overtime to Virginia. Drew, I watched it. It was electric. I'm blown away. I was impressed with how this Florida State team had really started to turn around and had really started to look good. They couldn't avoid the trap game. We're going to talk about their game this week. Spoiler alert, it's with Miami. But Drew, wow.
No, I think you're right. And I think the issue is, I think it's twofold. One, I think they fully went into this game because it's a very young team, ready to just do their thing, move on to next week, and didn't take this Virginia team seriously. And I think that's what kind of happened there. But two, I think that's also a Mike Norvell problem, where he's a very young coach. He really he understands himself that this game has to be taken seriously, but I think maybe that message wasn't completely given to the players here. Maybe he was said, but it wasn't emphasized. And I think that's kind of what happens in these kind of games where you have a very young coach, a coach that's really ready to kind of make a name for himself. And maybe himself is looking into next week and then doesn't relay the message of, hey, no, it's one game at a time. We need to do this. And I think that's kind of what happened here. And all props to Virginia, because anytime Florida State had a score, Virginia had an answer and was able to just kind of go punch for punch and just kind of wade Florida State out for them to make a mistake. And a great, great win on their part.
And I want to bring up some critical plays. First of all, Florida State scored a touchdown with 4 seconds left to force that thing to overtime. Yeah. But it wasn't just that. Virginia had come out and scored. Florida State had an opportunity. They threw it into the very talented tight end in the end zone, and he bobbled it. And by the time he got it back in his hands, he was out of bounds. A critical error there. I do just want to update everybody just in case this, does start to get crazy. The Guardians are now into the bottom of the 9th. Is that Schneedeman or is that Manzardo? I just caught a quick glimpse.
It's probably Manzardo.
Okay, so
that's where he would be in the lineup.
We'll keep you updated. 6-3 Tigers. We'll keep you updated. Trust me, if I could just turn the volume on and let you listen in on the show, or listen in and we all listen together, I would. But that would get us kicked off of every platform so quickly. It's not even funny. It would be funny. Rolling through the rest of the top 25 as we continue. We talked about Texas A&M. Texas was off this week. Indiana, Texas Tech off as well. Tennessee, winners in overtime with a pretty sneaky, kind of under the radar good Mississippi State team, 41-34 in overtime. Georgia Tech survives Wake Forest 30-29 in overtime. Vanderbilt hammers Utah State 55-35. I'm going to talk about the other side of that 55 when we get to the next week. Michigan was off. Missouri 42-6 winners over UMass. USC and Illinois. Drew, what did I tell you last week? I said Illinois is not going to just roll over. They're going to come back and they're going to have a good season, rest of their season. I didn't think it would be this quickly, though, as they come back and upset USC 34-32 in Southern California. A great upset. But I really I'm going to be honest, this is kind of a tale of two teams that are going to finish 4th and 5th respectively in their conferences.
Yeah, I think you're right there. But no, I think that Illinois team, showed me something. Mm-hmm. And I think, like I said, and we'll talk about kind of similar teams the next game. Sorry.
That's all right.
One down. But we'll talk about it kind of where they're not going to be competing for, Big Ten championships, and that's okay. But coming from where they came from, and if they finish out the way they're starting, I think it's a very good season for Illinois. USC, though, again, high hopes in the season, high flying, and just not able to close out some of these games. And I think that's going to hurt them. Not just this year, but unless they change their mentality, it's going to continue to hurt them against these kind of mid-tier Big Ten teams.
And that's not too down for the Guardians. Steve Sarkisian had that job and then moved on. We've seen a rotating door of very talented coaches, really good names, but nobody's really able to have tapped in to the pipeline there in Southern California of nothing but crazy talented players and really get this team back to where it was. Surprising there. We'll finish it out. They were underdogs in their own ranked matchup, and Vegas tried to tell you as Arizona State took down TCU 27-24, and then finally BYU survives a scary one against Colorado 24-21. Our two coaches quotes of the week, Drew. The first coming from Coach Prime, who when asked why Colorado is struggling, he said, I don't know.
That's not a great thing to say.
Yeah, he said he doesn't know. And my other favorite quote, I meant to bring it up, but we did get distracted. Oregon coach Dan Lanning, after the game, talked about how he had heard so much about a whiteout at Penn State being very loud, and he honestly Just didn't think it was that loud this time. I thought that was kind of funny too. All right, Drew. It's time to throw it over to you for Drew's quarterback watch of the week. And I'm going to let you take over this segment as Detroit did make the final out, officially eliminating your Guardian. So we'll be able to finally turn that off and eliminate the distraction as we bring in the rest of our viewers. But Drew, as I have to take a quick second away, it's time for your quarterback watch.
Oh, see, the issue is he is going to miss a very, very important quarterback of the week here. As we can see, a lot this week. Guys were throwing it all over the field this week, and I love to see it. First, your leader in passing yards this week, Walker Egan from San Jose State, one of Ken's fun teams this year, 473 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Very, very well done there. A repeater of the show, Micah Alejado from Hawaii, 457 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Shout out Hawaii. Having a little better of a season this year. I always love a good Hawaii team. Jalen Daniels from Kansas, 445 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. However, it wasn't a loss, and we will get to who he lost to there soon. You can see I'm excited there. Ben Gulbranson from Stanford, 444 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Shout out to a Stanford quarterback that can sling the ball. Probably the first since Andrew Luck. Sawyer Robinson, a third time on the show from Baylor, 393 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. I like him. He's not getting a lot of coverage. Like I said, I really want him to get more coverage because this guy is absolutely fantastic with the ball in his hands, absolutely electric. And I think that's why Baylor is punching above their weight this year. And the person who beat Jalen Daniels in Kansas, Brendan Sorsby in Cincinnati, 388 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 1-minute drive to take the lead at the end of the game to beat Kansas. Very done by Brendan Sorsby there. A very mature performance. And finally, I had to include him at the end because I saw it, and it was something I had to include. CJ Carr out of Notre Dame. You see Ken's picture there, 354 passing yards and 4 touchdowns and a domination of Arkansas. Glad to see him on there. Obviously, always had some quarterback concerns early on, but I think he proved some doubters wrong this week, and hopefully he continues, and hopefully he gets back on my list.
That kid can slang it. Kid can slang it. He makes it, and he makes some good decisions. First of all, shout out to you for getting my guy Walker from San Jose State and Hawaii on there. I appreciate that. Love to the little schools. And you homer. You homer. He had a good game.
388 passing yards, almost 400, and the game-winning drive in a game doesn't give you week 5. Anyone would have gotten on that list with that kind of stat line.
Well, the fact that the opposing quarterback on there is there as well just shows me that neither of these teams were playing any defense. Love you.
No. You're absolutely right. But 2, also our first-round pick was out with an ankle injury, so not great either.
And yes, Ray, almost cap season. That's where we're pushing on here in Cleveland. All right. So Drew's out of the way. It's my turn now. It's time for Big Bros, Big Bets. And bro, we seem to have a common theme this year. And that is going 4 for 2 on our locks. We are 20-10 overall on the season for our locks. I think that's pretty damn good to be over 500. We also did not do so great on the upsets this week. We scaled it down a lot more. You'll see that coming up. But Georgia, -2.5 versus Alabama. Blew that one. UConn, -4.5 against Buffalo. I'm going to full screen this for a second. I lost a 5-leg and a 6-leg parlay because of UConn -3.5, and they only won by 3. Texas A&M cost me another 6-leg parlay. Manchester City cost me another one. We had just a horrific day at the office. I just wanted to point that out. Okay. But the ones we did get right: South Carolina -5.5 versus Kentucky. Bang. Louisiana, the hottest team in Big Bros, Big Bets. They're over versus Marshall. Bang. Utah -12.5 versus West Virginia. Sorry, West Virginia. We knew Utah was going to have a storm back game. And finally, although it was scary at first, Ohio State -8.5 versus Washington. And then in our upset specials, shout out to Drew's Bearcats for taking care of Kansas for us, and shout out to Hawaii.
Yeah, a lot of those. There was a lot of close games this week, but a lot of strange and disappointing results this weekend. And thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. I need all the motivation I can get after watching that game
Listen,
today. So I
I have
appreciate the
I have
positivity.
my degeneracy that allows me to get a shot, shine a spotlight on my talents, although I can't seem to pick them up when I'm putting my own money on it. And then we have yours, which is being analytical. So yes, and I'm not even putting up Rico's comment. Rico, you late. We know. We're not talking about that. Yeah, and I don't. Well, sure, I guess.
We got hockey fans in the chat. All right.
100%. Wake me up when it's playoff time. All right, Drew, let's get to this week. We've got some movement in the rankings, except for that number 1 spot. However, there is something interesting. Ohio State does remain number 1. However, this is the least amount of first place votes they have gotten so far in that poll, with Oregon storming up there as well, followed by Miami, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Penn State, Indiana, Texas, and Alabama. That closes out your top 10. Texas Tech, Georgia, LSU, Iowa State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Missouri, and Michigan finish out the top 20. And then Notre Dame, Illinois, BYU, Virginia, and Arizona State. Virginia and Arizona State, welcome to the top 25. So without further ado, it's time for the watchables. But I gave them a graphic this week, and bro, congratulations.
I made the list.
You made the list.
Yeah.
Straub's sneaky watchables. We'll start with me. Boise State at number 21, Notre Dame. Maybe this isn't sneaky to everyone, but still, the Broncos seem to have righted the ship, and they're ready to show this Notre Dame team that they haven't gotten such an easy redemption this season just yet. Drew, does Boise State have a chance?
I truly don't think. I think the fact that you finally have a coach that just runs up the score on people and leaves no doubt, I think, is a testament that this game should not be even close. You're at home. Boise State is not the same team it was last year. They did right the ship, but I don't believe they righted the ship versus teams that would show anything. You did. Give me you by a million.
Hey, let's go. It'll be close because that's just me, and you guys have figured this out by now. That's how I do this. So yeah, it'll be close. It'll be scary. Be careful. Let's move on. Drew, you're in. Number 14, Iowa State at Cincinnati. Bro, you're in the graphic. You upstate Kansas last week. I think you're primed for another one, bro. Nobody knows the Bearcats better than you. You tell us, how do your Bearcats get it done again this week? Nippert Stadium.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be an Nippert Stadium. We apparently can never get a night game anymore, so that's amazing. It's nip at noon instead of nip at night anymore. Do you know the spread on this game? Do you have any clue?
Well, for betting purposes, I do know, so go ahead.
What I do know is I'm sure Iowa State's favored, which is perfectly understandable.
You don't actually know. Okay, my bad.
No, no. That's yeah. Here I will give you a play-by-play on what happens here. Let's see what we got.
Iowa
Not
State.
on there.
No, yeah, there's the crazy part. You are currently favored. Iowa State plus 1.5.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So here's what's going to happen. It is going to be a close game. It is going to be a high-scoring game. Our offense is looking great. Our secondary looks absolutely tragic. And so Rocco Becht will probably do his best and pick us apart. But I think we're going to stay in this game. And honestly, I think we're going to give ourselves a chance to win the game late. However, while we did drive down the field and score last week, Brendan Sorsby is throwing a lot of dangerous passes late in games, trying to make things happen. If not for a one-handed catch on 4th and 10 and a dropped interception the play before, we would have lost last week's game. So while I think this game is going to be close, I don't think that our offense is as polished as it needs to be. I think we're going to make some mistakes that Iowa State is going to capitalize on, the things that Kansas didn't. And I think this is going to be a close loss for Cincinnati and another heartbreaker in a season full of heartbreak that I'm sure will ensue the rest of the season.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh.
Believe in your Bearcats, okay? Nippert Stadium is a tough place to play. It's a beautiful place, kind of built right in underneath campus. I've been there many times with my brother. I think it's time. Okay. Iowa State trips up every year. Iowa State's not going undefeated and going to the college football playoffs. They're going to lose a game like they lose a game every single year. And this is it right here. Give me the Bearcats and give me the points.
Oh my God! I listen. I appreciate it. I think in my dreams, I believe that we're gonna take it to them and play just as well as we did against Kansas, if not better. If we have Dante Corleone in the middle of the line, just years and years of Cincy heartbreak has led me to believe that this is a team that gets so close, but just can't get over the finish line. And so we will see what happens. I will be watching, obviously, with bated breath, but anything can happen. So
yeah,
and I will say, yeah, nice Corso.
Thank you. I can't get it down now, so you have to take.
Also, thank you. I appreciate the comment there.
Hey, they are. I absolutely believe it. All right, back to the graphic. We keep it rolling. Number 24, newly to the top 25, Virginia at Louisville. Louisville, the only other team that's hotter than me in bets than Louisiana is this Louisville team, a team that can put up points. Okay, Miller Moss is a super talented quarterback. This team can put up points. Here's the problem, though. Virginia comes in with 539.6 yards a game. That is fifth in all of FBS. So the defense for Louisville has to come in and really take care of business for this to happen. Virginia has a chance to keep rolling and have a sneaky chance to get into the ACC championship game because they have a very easy run-in from here compared to the rest of the SEC.
Yeah, see, I think this is twofold here. One, I think Louisville came up against a pretty good Pitt team last week. I think gave them a scare, but came out of it unscared. I think that Pitt team is better than people think. I think that the rivalry game they had a loss, and then they barely lost to Louisville, which I think is a really good team. And so I think this Louisville team is better than what they've been showing. Also, I think Virginia may be too highly touted right now just based off of that win. Listen, every team gets an upset, in the year, and it just kind of depends on who you are. I think it was a great win by Virginia. I think it was a good performance, but you're on the road now. You're on a more veteran and more seasoned team that's going to take you more seriously. I think they're better they're better defensively than Florida State, in my opinion. And I think this Louisville team handles business. Maybe doesn't blow them out, but handles business against Virginia and shows them pump your brakes. It's not your year yet.
I agree. I really like this Louisville team. I'm going to bet on them again this week. We're going to try to keep that hot streak alive. Keeping it rolling. Drew, I talked about it in their loss. A sneaky good or a sneaky decent Mississippi State team heads down to College Station to take on Texas A&M, a little interstate rivalry. Or I'm sorry, not interstate rivalry. Another sneaky SEC, had my notes in the wrong spot. Another sneaky SEC test for A&M. But don't look now, Drew, because if Mississippi State was to upset A&M, they still have Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and Ole Miss on their schedule. Mississippi State Bulldogs, you run the table, and you're going to the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I think this Mississippi State team is miles better than it has been in the past, 5 years, since probably Dak was there. And honestly, in my opinion, I think this A&M team, I think every year is a little too highly touted and then has a loss. If this was at Mississippi State and the cowbells were going and yada, yada, I would probably give the edge to Mississippi State. I would call this upset. However, College Station is loud. It's hectic. Mississippi State, while better, is young, isn't ready for that kind of environment to kind of take hold of a game and quiet the crowd. I think A&M capitalizes and I think they win. But like I said, I still don't think that proves that this A&M team is legit, even if they do win.
I think this is actually probably I think this is a sneakier game than some of the other ones. I think it's sneakier than Boise State, Notre Dame. I think it's sneakier than Virginia and Louisville because this Texas A&M team played Auburn, and yes, Auburn is good, but didn't look great. And if you carry that into this Mississippi State team, who would just love to destroy any of these teams left on their season or on their schedule, their seasons, It would be something to look out for. All right. Lastly, here's what I meant to say. A little interstate rivalry of two 4-0 teams. Texas Tech has big college football playoff hopes right now, but the Cougars, I don't know if a lot of people realize that Houston are the Cougars, but the Cougars, aside from last week's overtime win against Oregon State, has handled everyone in front of them, Colorado being the best team so far on that list. They have upsets on their mind, Drew, and once again, with Arizona State, TCU, and Baylor on the schedule, should we be looking at this game and this Houston team with more open eyes? Or do we need to see what happens here first?
So one, I think to answer your question, I don't believe Houston is in the race this year. I think they're gonna, like I said, I think they're improving year after year, and I think they're doing a really great job at building that program up to finally be kind of Big 12 competitive. And I respect that because we're Cincinnati and USCF are trying to do the same exact thing, and I think they're both doing it. However, like even though it's not their year, I don't think this is a game that like you said, is gonna be one of the closer games. It's a night game. It's at Houston, undefeated. This Houston team took it to Colorado, close but grinded it out against Oregon State. Had a couple dominating wins against Rice and I can't remember their name.
It was like Satan something. Yeah, but go ahead.
Right. But this team is motivated. This team is amped up. This team is home. I still think Texas Tech pulls off the victory, but I think a lot of people are kind of discouraging this Houston team as not being ready yet. And I think they're going to give Texas Tech all they can handle. But like I said, I really like this Texas Tech team, and I think they do end up prevailing.
All I'm going to say is Texas Tech, you better have learned from that Utah game. I know this is not the same team in terms of talent, but in terms of going into somebody's house, getting punched in the mouth, now that backup quarterback has to go in and do it himself on the road for a whole game. This is a sneaky, scary one that I may be laying some points rather than picking a winner. Oos is going to jump in front of Big Bros, Big Bets. He's got Notre Dame, Cincy, Louisville, A&M, Houston. Lock it in. Put the bonus boost. Put the 30% bonus boost. Not the no sweat. Not the no sweat. Put the boost on it, he says. All right, Drew, real quick. Rapid fire. Let's pick them. Boise State, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Same. Iowa State, Cincinnati.
Iowa State in a heartbreaker.
Cincinnati in the upset. Virginia at Louisville.
Louisville.
Same. Louisville. Sorry, not Louisville. Louisville.
Whatever.
Mississippi State at Texas A&M.
A&M.
Give me A&M as well. Texas Tech at Houston.
Texas Tech.
Give me Houston. I'm going all upsets. Well, not all upsets, but major upsets. Actually, no, I want to take I no take backs, but I'm taking back. I'm going to join Texas Tech there, actually, but I may bet on Houston. So that's how I put my money where my mouth is. All right. So those are your watchables, your ones to keep an eye on. Here are your big boys. It's time for Straub Bros Big Saturday, and we start at 3:30 in the SEC. As number 16 Vanderbilt travels to Tuscaloosa to take on number 10 Alabama. Drew, normally we would say, hey, does Vanderbilt even have a chance? Well, hey, they beat Alabama last year. Upset Alabama, destroyed some college football playoff hopes. Drew, can they do it again?
The issue is my heart says they walk into Tuscaloosa. They have the confidence that they did last year. They put Bama on their heels, and they show, all right, Vandy, you are a legit contender. This has Alabama stomping a mud hole in Vanderbilt CFP hopes written all over it. It truly does, and I hate that I think that way. I love Vanderbilt. Their defense is sketchy at best. They can't really stop teams from scoring. They can score a bunch of points, but Alabama, they've shown that they can step up defensively when they need to. They're at home. Vanderbilt won at home. They're now on the road against Bama, which is miles tougher. I want Vanderbilt so badly, but my football brain is saying Alabama.
Full screen me. Commodores, listen to me. Okay? There is no more Lee Corso on game day. I am Lee Corso. Oh, you're literally full screening me. Your game last week is what will define this week. Why? Because you scored 55 points. That offense can put on points against any team in the nation, but you gave up 35 points to Utah State. That defense will get you slaughtered in this game against Alabama. You have got to put on the defensive effort of your life. If you do that, you have a real shot at not just making it to the SEC championship game, but actually winning the thing and locking up a bye in the college football playoffs. If you want to be that team, this is the week you have to prove it right now. It's not down the line in the championship game. It's not down the line in the playoffs. It's right now this week. I didn't know I was going full screen for that. I wasn't that fired up.
I got you.
So yeah, that's 35 points to Utah State is a lot. Now, some of those might be on the back end, but I'm just saying that effort is not cutting it against Alabama. They're going to destroy you. And I apologize, Alabama. On my screen when I made it, your graphic was the same size as the V from Vanderbilt. Don't take it disrespectfully. The bottom one, I have no choice. They're different logos. Speaking of that game. So we go from 3:30 on ABC right to 7:30. We head down to Tallahassee. Number 3, Miami at number 18, Florida State. Oh, how sweeter this would have been if the Seminoles didn't blow it last week against Virginia. However, 2 high-powered offenses, but one defense that is looking to absolutely wreck this game and make it all about themselves. Bro, after last week's upset, can Florida State rebound, or is this lights out because there's a hurricane blowing through?
Look at that. What an absolute spectacle of a shout there. Do you know what I believe this score will reflect?
And that was in terms of Vanderbilt. Just getting Pops' comment in there.
This game will reflect the Miami Hurricanes versus Notre Dame game in week 0. Because while I do believe that this Florida State team will bounce back, they will look better, they will throw the ball around, this Miami team is actually scary and actually has a full circle and full complete team where Florida State's going to lack defensively. Miami's going to be able to score not easily, but relatively consistently. And I think that Miami defense steps up late and absolutely torches Florida State's offense. And so, like Florida State to keep it close, but Miami, I think, just absolutely takes control of this game late.
The magical. Right, yeah. I didn't let that slide. Okay, just
it's not a shot. It's not a shot. You
saying.
Played a good game.
The magic of college football, the tradition, the crazy things. That's what has to happen this week for Florida State. You have to massively rebound from a loss, and you have to hope that Miami locker room is laughing, going, oh, they can't beat Virginia. They're not beating us. Because other than that, you don't have a chance in this game. Because that defense, I've seen it. It's scary, and it's only getting better. That offense is starting to come along and really starting to hum and really starting to get rolling. Unless Florida State can really pull some miracles, I really don't believe so, because now, after that loss to Virginia, and if this is what happens when you lose, all your wins kind of you side eye and you look and remember that they beat Kent State, and they haven't really, you know what I mean? Yes, they had the week 1 win, but that, you know what I mean? All those things look different. So Florida State, you better come with everything you got. We talked about it for Vanderbilt. Their playoffs start Saturday. Florida State, your season's on the line here, because if you lose this game, it could spiral. And maybe we aren't that good. And maybe these guys we brought in aren't that great. And all of a sudden, what was promising could now easily be a coach fire.
No, I think you're absolutely. I think coach fires a little much. I think he's definitely.
If it was to steamroll really bad.
No, absolutely. I get your point there. I still think that even in a loss, as long as it's the way I expected and it's a close game, I still think there's reasons for optimism, in Florida State. But Yeah, this is a similar Vanderbilt. You got to play the game of your life to have a chance at winning this game. And even that might not be enough.
I agree. All right, bro. I got one last segment in me. Well, on my own. It's time for Big Bros, Big Bets. Lots of games in there this week. You take a look at your top 25. I'm going to go through your Kins Chef specials. Delaware -2.5 to Western Kentucky. Let the degeneracy begin. South Florida, it is now 28.5 over Charlotte. My San Jose State, let's go, baby. -2.5 against New Mexico. We love us some that. Clemson are 14.5 point favorites against North Carolina. Take the points. Take North Carolina in the points.
I don't know.
Yeah, Pitt -6.5 to Boston College. Ohio -14.5 to Ball State. Love us some Navy -12.5 to Air Force. Gonna skip down a little bit. Love me some Buffalo -10.5 to Eastern Michigan. Another sneaky good one. We've got SMU and Syracuse. That's a good one to watch regardless.
That's a great game.
Yeah. SMU
I'm not yawning. I do enjoy these games.
-17.5. He just hates when I read lines. We've got Central Michigan -8.5. A favorite of mine. Love me some Troy. They are now, it's flipped. They are +1.5 underdogs against Southern Alabama. I'm hammering that.
Wow.
I will also check some injuries to make sure why that line flipped, but I love me some that. Memphis -20.5 to Tulsa, and finally Duke -2.5 to Cal. Those are just some spreads. Time to lock in. It's time for my locks of the week, and some of them you were familiar with. Like I said, 20-10 overall on the season on those locks. Let's get rolling. Give me San Jose State -2.5 over New Mexico. Love it. Georgia rebounds big -20.5 over Kentucky. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Notre Dame -20.5 over Boise State. Listen, man, if we can put 50 something on Arkansas, we can put 50 something on Boise State. Let's go, boys.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go against one of my preseason picks. Give me Michigan State +10.5 versus Nebraska. I think Nebraska wins the game. I think Michigan State absolutely keeps this close. Give me also the Michigan versus Nebraska over. I 100% apologize for not actually having that.
Oh, it's 48.5. You have it kind of on the next line.
Oh, I do. My bad. 48.5.
Which I agree with, by the way.
Yeah, love that over. And lastly, I love this over too. Miami versus Florida State's over of 53.5. Miami going to put up 48 of that. We'll be all right. All right. Florida State will get us the touchdown and the field goal to just lock that thing up for us. And lastly, our upsets through week 6? Yeah, through week 6. We have 10 upsets picked on the year. We scaled it down a little bit. Florida.
Not 10 picks?
You know what? I thought about it because I did have a lot that I liked, but you leave me alone and you be nice to me. Give me Florida. They are +220 against Texas this week.
Ooh.
Yep. Eastern Michigan.
They always do for one.
Right. Eastern Michigan are +285 against Buffalo this week. Houston +320 over Texas Tech. We talked about that. If you believe in that. Vanderbilt, if you believe in them, you're getting some good money. +330. Michigan State +360 over Nebraska. I don't think that's a crazy upset there. And if you just want to dig it to Dabo Sweeney and you believe that somehow Bill Belichick's got something cooking, North Carolina +540 over Clemson.
Well, two things. One, I can't believe that North Carolina is that heavily unfavored. Like,
I know.
Just based on the fact that Clemson is doing so poorly this year, but I kind of understand it because of how bad North Carolina is this year so far. But two, again, if you were so confident in my Bearcats, they're not on a lock, they're not on an upset, they're nowhere in your big bets. What happened?
I 100% did not want to bring you the bad mojo. We don't do good.
Appreciate it.
You've done well in upsets. You have not done well with spreads and when you're not the underdog. I was leaving you alone. You became, to be honest, you became less interesting when you started to become the favorite.
Which is crazy.
In terms of betting. Yeah, I need that money to come back in on Iowa State so I can then get in on the Bearcats.
Yeah.
I want them to be maybe doing some live betting on them. Drew, all this football talk kind of makes me hungry. And you know what? It's time to give a shout out to the official bakery of the Straub Sports.
Ken Straub here for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, the official bakery of the Straub Sports Show. And I'm also here with
Stella
and
and Straub.
And boys, do we have a lot to tell everyone about today. Schmoopy's is your go-to for all your bakery needs. Gluten and dairy-free options for muffins, cheesecakes, rolls, breads, cupcakes, cake pops, pies, cakes, you name it, it's there. And boys, what do we think?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Me too, boys. So, if you need anything, especially in this fall time, make sure you get in your orders for pies and pumpkin rolls and cinnamon rolls. Place your order now at
Smoopy's Sweets and Treats.
We got a lot of cars, so buy them.
Hands down the cutest thing I've ever done. Period. End of story. Shout out to Cola. Shout out to my son Landon for helping me get in there with Schmoopy's Sweets and Treats. Oh, hold on, because I didn't put it in the graphic because obviously the graphic's going to hang over. But do want to mention that Paula wanted me to let everybody know. I'm in so much trouble.
You are in so much trouble. What is going on here?
Yes. Hold on. Thrilling as I scroll.
What an amazing ad read.
Pumpkin bread, $3 a loaf. Get yourself
That's
in
a
there.
great deal.
Absolutely. And they're amazing. They're huge pumpkin loaves as well. And yes, absolutely. The kids love it. All right. Nate, you're gonna spare me your kids so I can add kids to this promo for next week. All right, Drew. With that being said, let's talk more football. It's time to talk some NFL. And Drew, we have an argument every week about reading the scores back and forth. I'm done with it this week. We're just going to go through some points. I already sent them to you, some one-hit questions or so to talk about each of these games to give us a point to talk. So let's start with Thursday night. The question is simple. Are the Seahawks real?
They're as real as the Vikings were last year, which means they might have a good record. But when it comes down to to the actual games that matter, which are the playoffs, I have as much faith in them as I do any Vikings team ever.
Okay. I mean, yeah, short and sweet. The Cardinals, they're going to be what they're going to be. All right, we'll move on. Speaking of those Vikings, my question isn't about the Vikings, though. Can we really believe in this dink and dunk Steelers team?
I don't believe so because, one, the running game or the defensive running, the defensive running game is terrible. They get ran through every single week by the running backs, but also I don't trust Aaron Rodgers against a legit defense. It's you see him against iffy defensive lines, and that doesn't look great. So when he comes up against an actual defensive line, I think that team is going to be in massive trouble.
It's coming in the next couple of weeks. Listen, man, you can't do sports without not just watching sports, but listening to other smart people talk about sports. And one of the things that I'm hearing the smart people who break down the all 22 camps talk about is the fact that all of these passes are screen passes and little 3 yards and little 5 yards. They're very quick passes. And eventually teams are going to figure that out, and they're going to put everybody close, and they're going to force Aaron Rodgers to beat them deep, and they're going to take the time away that he has, and then we're going to see what the Steelers team really is.
The offensive line. Well, the offensive line. If you watch, I can't remember his name, the left guard for the Steelers. If you watch just a highlight reel, it is awful. He has to double team 90% of his snaps, and as soon as the other man goes away, the defender wins almost automatically. It's a massive liability for that team, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. But as soon as that team figures out how to just press up on the line and negate that, Steelers are in massive trouble.
Offensive line breakdown with Andrew Straub. Commanders were winners, and here's the question. Is Jaden Daniels enough to save the Commanders and kind of start to turn around what's kind of been a shaky start to the season?
Yeah,
Even with the win.
I don't know why the graphic shows
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. I said Washington won. Falcons won.
Yeah.
Is Jaden Daniels coming back? Your graphics correct. I misspoke. Is
That's what I
Jaden
thought. Okay, yeah.
is Jaden Daniels coming back enough to save them?
It'll enough to keep them in contention for a playoff spot, but I think that this is a year where you go, okay, we see where our holes are. We have our building blocks. We fill those holes. We're right back into contention.
I agree. I agree with that insight. I don't agree that it's going to happen. I think this is going to be one of those weird years where Washington doesn't have the successes the year before and then has to build into it for next year. Moving along.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. 21-18 winners for the Jets. Drew, are you buying Jackson Dart stock?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, listen, you're always going to get a bump because there was absolutely no tape on Dart. And yet he only scored. He didn't really play that well. They only scored 21 points. I think this is more that, okay, the Chargers are now coming back to what we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the year. They got a great start, but I think this is where we think this Chargers team is, where they're going to be in close games all year and they're going to win some, they're going to lose some. But no, I think it's a good quarterback, serviceable. It's going to have to grow into the game, but I'm not buying any stock right now.
The thing that I love about us now doing the show is I love Notre Dame. There are very few college teams that I hate. So I love watching college football. It's why we're able to do such long segments on it. I love these guys. I love Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. I thought he was a baller. If he didn't play for the Giants and in my division, I'd love him even more. But dude, I'm buying. I love the dancing in the end zone after the touchdown. Give me all of it. That dude is made for New York, and New York needs him. So I love me. I'm buying early on some Jackson Dart stock. All right, Eagles were 31-25 victors over Baker and the Buccaneers. He almost brought him back again. Are the Eagles doing enough to impress you that maybe another Super Bowl run is real?
It solely depends on
the reason I asked that, and I don't mean to cut you off, is because a lot of people are down.
No, and rightfully so. But however, I want to remind you, a lot of people were down on that Chiefs team that was barely scraping by in the regular season, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl. So what I'm going to say is, will they replicate the Chiefs in that way? Who's to know? But you cannot tell me that these Super Bowl champions that are undefeated do not have your favorite odds to win, to go back to the Super Bowl right now, especially beating good teams.
Yeah, I don't want to play them.
No, absolutely not.
I already did. Got to do it again. Don't want to. All right. Patriots, 42-13 winners over Carolina. I really don't even have a question here. Actually, I kind of do. Regardless of how their season may progress, one, are you seeing now enough from Drake May to justify the top 3 pick? I personally am. And is this over for Bryce Young after being benched again? I know it was a blowout. You don't want a guy to get hurt, but have we seen enough?
Yeah, so regarding the Drake May question, I say yes now. I think you're finally starting to see, oh, okay. No, the Patriots were just that bad around him. That's why what we were seeing. And now that he actually has some sort of resemblance of a team, he's starting to play well. But no, regarding the Bryce Young thing, it hurts because I had a lot of faith in this kid coming in. He looked really good at the end of the year. Maybe a change of scenery is needed because we saw this with multiple other quarterbacks that left bad teams, and I think that might be needed. But in terms of Bryce Young's career in Carolina, I think that's something that needs to be ended expeditiously. And I think,
expeditiously. Shout out to T.I. I will say I should have reframed that question and not say as it like the end of his career. But no, I agree. The time is up in Carolina. I think it's time for everybody to move on there. Bills, 31-19 winners over the Saints. Don't really got much here. I can't even say that I agree that the Bills defense is back because It's the Saints, and I won't give their offense much credit because it's the Saints. So we'll move on. Drew, the Lions were 34-10 victors over the Browns. I did notes early this week. The question on my board, I could show it to you. Is it time for the Browns to change quarterbacks? Well, yesterday, that question was answered for us as the Browns have sent 47-year-old Joe Flacco to the bench into retirement as Dylan Gabriel will get his first NFL career start. Shedeur I don't know if Shedeur is 2, probably Flacco. Okay, yeah, Shedeur is still 3. Drew, the Dylan Gabriel era has started in Cleveland. The jersey is now at 41 or 42 starting quarterback since you come back since 1999, but this is it. Dylan Gabriel is the guy, and he leads the Browns franchise, and he becomes their franchise quarterback, right?
If I had loaded up Madden, I think that would be a better resemblance there. But I think the issue is that not even the issue. I think the point that I think we need to really emphasize is I'm glad they did this now. You gave Flacco 4 games. You gave Flacco 4 games, and you realized, listen, he's not the Flacco we brought in 2 years ago, and which makes sense. He's 2 years older. He's gotten hit 100 times more than he did, since then. That's fine. Hey, you gave it your best. You just can't run the offense anymore. Let's see what the kid's got. So yeah, like I said, you had 4 games. You got 13 games to now try Dylan Gabriel and/or Shedeur Sanders before you got to make a decision for the draft. And I'm cool with it. Give the kid 3 or 4 games. Give him a stretch to see really how he does. If you want to change it to Shedeur Sanders after that because he's really that bad, be my guest. But I think you got to give him a shot. Do not give him a quarter. Don't give him a half. I don't care how bad he's looking. You need to grow him into this game. You need to allow him to struggle to start figuring himself out. Because if you only give him a half and you go, oh, he's only thrown 5 completions and we're down 14. Cool. That's how this season has to go. You have to start to just allow the game to slow down for him. So all I ask is patience the rest of the year from the fans, from the management, from the coaching staff, from the player. Patience here. We knew this season was good. Like, the issue is Browns fans coming into the season knew the season was going to be a wash. We knew it. Obviously, we had our hopes that Flacco was going to be deep down, we knew it wasn't going to be. Have the same patience in these next games or 2 as you had at the beginning of the year when you were ready for these kids to start. You need to give them time. This is not a playoff team. This is not a team that needs to win game. This is a game that needs to grow in experience. And Ken, I don't know why you're laughing, because your team is almost as bad as my team is, and you have an aging quarterback as well.
Oh, well, no. Aaron Rodgers is aging. Dak Prescott is not. There are levels to this aging thing. I'm laughing because, like, everything you said is true, and it just went right, and it just went in every Cleveland fan's ear and went right out the oven. There ain't no damn patience. Here's the worst part: you guys are at home. I'll give it to the 3rd series before they start booing Dylan Gabriel.
We're in London.
Oh, you're so lucky. I forgot about that. Okay, I did forget about that. You are so lucky. Okay, so you get saved by the London game. The following week, you're in Pittsburgh. You come home the 19th against the Dolphins. I guarantee, well, number one, you're going to lose these 3 games, or the next 2 at least.
Thanks.
And secondly, 3 series, maybe 2 into that Dolphins game, when you are down 14-0 or maybe 14-3, they're going to boo Dylan Gabriel out of that building and cheer for Shedeur and call for Shedeur the same way they called for Baker before you guys finally decided to let Baker save you.
No. And you know what that mentality got us? Us booing Baker with a torn labrum, and wrote him out of Cleveland because the coaching staff had the fans on his side for some reason. Listen, I don't want to hear anyone talk about, they wanted to keep Baker when 60% of the fan base wanted Baker gone at the end of the season. When we released him,
don't make this a Baker conversation.
I'm going to make it a Baker conversation because it's a fan conversation. Because this team and this fan base is so allergic to patience and letting a player grow when we have seen time and time again franchise quarterbacks, the way they succeed is they are given time to develop and grow into their role. Patrick Mahomes waited a full season before he was given the reins and given a starting quarterback position. And now he is considered a potential GOAT candidate. All right. Ben Roethlisberger was given a year. Eli Manning was given a year. Phillip Rivers. All of these quarterbacks were given time to grow into the roles. Maybe not sitting back, but given multiple years to grow into these roles. When the second a Browns quarterback is starting to struggle, we want him out the door and want something new and shiny. I hate it. I've hated it since I've been a Browns fan. And it boggles my mind that again and again we cannot learn this lesson as fans. Give him time. I don't care if he struggles. I don't care if he sucks. You need to see what you have at a bigger span. And then, listen, with 5 games to go, if you go, okay, he just doesn't go, throw in Shore for 5 games. Absolutely. But I swear to God, if we go into next week and it's like Browns are bringing back Joe Flacco to start or Browns are bringing in Shore Sanders, I'm going to lose my mind because it just makes no sense. And the issue is it's probably not going to be a Stefanski call and it's probably not going to be an Andrew Berry call. It's going to be an ownership call because that's how it always is when you have Haslam as your owner. Sorry that I ranted so hard, but it infuriates me that this is the mentality that our owner and our fan base has.
This is the problem when you only root for the Cleveland Triangle from the Browns to the Guardians to the Cavaliers. I sprinkle in some Notre Dame, okay, and I sprinkle in some Cowboys in my own misery. But this is the problem when you follow that Cleveland Triangle because all your Guardians' misery just shifted because you know Sunday's coming and you know what that's going to look like. Here's the problem.
I know Saturday's coming too. I know a heartbreak in Cincinnati is also happening, and also my soccer team sucks as well. I don't want to talk about sports anymore today, Ken. I'm pissed off.
Hold on, because the best part about that is, let me let you in on a little secret to the rest of the country, because everything you said to your fellow Clevelanders and your Cleveland Browns fans is so spot on. But you said something at the very beginning. Do you know what that's called? And do you know what the rest of us around the country call it? Exactly what you guys deserve as a fan base. Sorry. We
deserve more losing seasons. Thank you, Ken.
Get behind the guy who wins for you sometimes. Although my favorite thing, and we're gonna make
Cavs,
and we're gonna
chokes in the playoffs every year. Sorry,
we're gonna make this happen because Ray is our staunch, however you say that word. I don't know. Baker hater, and I would love. We're not right now, but we're gonna set you two up, and we're gonna have an official end it all Baker debate. But that's coming. No, we're done.
I'm going to say one sentence. You give any quarterback Hugh Jackson and Freddie Kitchens as your head coach for 2 years and see what their record is after 4 years. I don't want to hear it.
All right, moving on. Jacksonville, 26-21 victors over the San Francisco 49ers. Drew, can the Jaguars defense, which is just lights out, 13 plus turnovers already when they only had, I think it was single digits on the season last year. Is this defense good enough to actually lead them to a playoff berth?
This reminds me of the Jaguars that went to the AFC Championship and lost to the Patriots, where it was just all defense. And you got, I think, Blake Bortles as your, or no, not Blake. It was, I think it was Blake Bortles as your quarterback.
Damn, the issue is Blake Bortles.
No, but he plays like them sometimes.
You are on fire today.
The issue is that I can't give this win any merit because this San Francisco team is so banged up and so hurt that it doesn't surprise me. And so a good win by Jacksonville, and hopefully they kind of start to just compound these wins. But I don't believe in the Trevor Lawrence experiment right now because it hasn't yielded any results. It hasn't been close to what Jacksonville has needed in a quarterback.
No, and he's choked in big moments in the NFL, where in college he was clutch in big time moments. It has not shown up, and it's been some time now. So Rams 27-20 winners over the Colts. There's been rumblings. I know, just let it go. There's been rumblings that, people calling Puka Nacua now the best wide receiver in the league. Drew, does Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams have one last run?
They could. It honestly solely depends on if this team stays healthy. If this team is fully healthy, I think they could beat honestly anyone just because of how consistent their attack is, how amazing Sean McVay is as a coach, and that their defense steps up in big situations. Listen, I know we would never say this in his entire career, but holding a Daniel Jones team to 20 points this year is honestly very impressive. And so great win, a great bounce back, and I think this Rams team can be dangerous. The issue is half this team, especially Matthew Stafford, is one injury away from it all falling apart.
100%, 100% correct. Sounds like my fantasy team. The Chicago Bears were 25-24 winners over the I do it every week, almost calling them Oakland. Really quick question. Are the Bears actually trending in the right direction for the first time and it feels like a decade?
I think this is, I'm going to repeat the statement that I made for my own team. Bears fans need to have some patience with Ben Johnson because I think this guy is the truth in Chicago. This is a game that every single Bears coach in the past 10 years loses. And you need to trust the vision. I'm not saying trust in Caleb Williams because that's honestly a hit or miss one there. And that's honestly whatever Ben Johnson believes in Caleb Williams or not. But believe in Ben Johnson. Give him time to build a team around him, and you will have a winner on your hands. I promise you.
If he can take Jared Goff's skill set and make it super successful, I've got to believe he can take Caleb Williams' skill set, which is regardless of what actually happens on the field, the skills, the raw talent, it's off the charts compared to Jared Goff. So if he can do that with Jared Goff, man, I would love to see what he can do with Caleb Williams, who's applying himself at the highest level as well there. Our last game before the Sunday night and Monday night games, Chiefs 47-20 winners over the Baltimore Ravens. This question is twofold. Are the Chiefs back? Are the Ravens done?
Ravens aren't done. I think they can go on a roll, and because they've had just a brutal start of the schedule. But I think I can answer this in two questions. Answer the question in two answers. One, Ravens just hit the Chiefs on a night that everything was clicking, and the Chiefs have those weeks where it's just like, okay, yeah, they're gonna drop 40 plus. Everything is working. The scheme by Andy Reid was drawn up perfectly. Usually we see this in the Super Bowl where just everything is working. But also, the Ravens defense just isn't that good. I know we have this thought, and it's been true for the past ever, that Ravens defenses and also hardball teams are defensively stout.
The defense has been good since they became a franchise.
But yeah, exactly. But also, they did just lose their defensive coordinator, who was an amazing schemer. And you see how much this has affected them. And I think that's your major key here is they're not scheming up as well as they used to. And when you play these teams that are offensively being schemed to perfection, that's where it's going to hurt you. And you saw it here.
I agree. I'm more impressed with what I saw from the Chiefs more than I am disappointed with a banged up Ravens team and how they performed. They still have a very good chance and and I know it's always this hard hitting AFC North. It's a weak NFC North. Let's just be honest about this. So in a weak NFC North, they still have very much an opportunity to take the
AFC
division.
North.
And what?
You said NFC. It's AFC North.
Yeah, I'm sorry, AFC North. They still have a very good opportunity to win that division and still make the playoffs. But I was impressed with the Chiefs. I know this Ravens defense isn't great. Kyle Hamilton with a very strange quote after basically saying, we don't know. We have some issues on the defense and we're trying to get it figured out. Yeah. That's
just a team that doesn't have any answers. I think you're right, though. I think in terms of the Chiefs, I think it took them a couple weeks to really integrate the new receivers. And I think now that these receivers are back, in stride, I think that's exactly what they needed. And so I think they're finally starting to hit their stride, which is scary for the rest of the league.
Where's my cousin? Where's our cousin? Did he run up? Did he run away?
I don't know if you're gonna celebrate this. I feel like it's gonna leave a worse taste in your mouth than a loss would.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you why. Green Bay 40, Dallas Cowboys 40. We won the trade. And I'm gonna tell you why. As we're stuck, as the screen is glitching, so I broke it. So if you could fix it for me.
No, come on, please tell me.
All I've heard this entire time since we made the trade, your defense is horrible. Cowboys defense is awful. Week in, week out for 4 weeks. I have heard how terrible, how ass, how whatever stupid word you want to use, how 6'7" my defense is. Well, the Green Bay Packers gave up the same amount of damn points, and they traded for Mr. All-World, All-Universe, All-Pro, All-Time, All-Madden, All-Star, All-PAFL, All-FIFA, Micah Parsons. So if my defense is ass, what the hell does that make the Packers defense? Ass. Sit your ass on the couch in January with me.
I see we've hit the segment where now your Guardians rage is coming out. But I
stored up since Sunday night.
I know. But also, okay, to give both of you credit, one, you have a great offense regardless. This has been known. George Pickens, Dak is always good. Javonte Williams has been honestly the signing of the year or the season for you guys so far. Absolutely fantastic. Did not think he was going to do well. Thought he was just going to be another Dallas running back that you signed that does nothing. But I really appreciate that he stepped up. But also, this is a fluke in the Packers defense so far. They gave up 13 to us. They gave up 13 to Detroit. And then they gave up 18 to Washington. This is a good defense that just, I think, came up against a really motivated, really good offense. And I think it's just a fluke game that either team should have won. But I think both of you guys did well. I think you can hang your hat on this and say, at our best, we can go up against a contender and go to toe-to-toe with them. And to them, they can say, this was a blip. Our offense still looks great. And our defense, other than this week, still looks really good.
I won the trade. All right. Moving on to what was honestly an awful Monday night. Just not good. I know that you see some points there in that Dolphins-Jets game, but don't let it be fooled. I guess here's my question first, Drew. Did the Dolphins finally right? Did the Dolphins finally find something that clicked? And is Tyreek Hill's career over?
No, I think Tyreek comes back for another year or two.
The problem for Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill's best attribute was his speed. He's not very tall. He's not a big wide receiver. He's already been losing speed just based on the fact that he is getting older, and now with a destroyed knee like that, that's a very tough. I agree. He's going to try to come back, but the Tyreek Hill that we're used to, I don't believe we'll see that ever again. Unfortunately.
No, I mean, I think he pulls what some of the older receivers are starting to do now and just kind of jump to whatever team wants them, fill that role. I think he'll start to do that. Will I see him at the level that he's been at? No, but that happens with age. Yeah, I saw it. I'm choosing not to engage in that. But honestly, this is less about the Dolphins to me, and I think this is more about the Jets. And honestly, it's not in a negative light. I am impressed with what I am seeing with the Jets in this new system. I am impressed with how they are able to hold on to games. Yeah, they lost, but this is a Jets team that last year I think Miami would have put 40 on them, even with the way Miami looks now. And so the fact that this game was so close and they kept it with it, Jets fans, believe in the vision in your head coach. Allow him to build a roster around him and then see the results. I think he is someone that I think you should start to try to believe in a little bit.
I like Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields can be a good quarterback. He had a scramble in that game against the Dolphins. And I made a statement, was years, I think it was maybe his first year with the Bears, where he basically, I think it was set the season record in rushing yards at the time. And I got flack for it, and I'm going to bring it back up because I stand by it. Justin Fields, when he is doing what he is best at, is a better, more elite rushing quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
Because Justin Fields is just as silky, and he gets through just as many guys and makes Just as many guys miss, but he doesn't take the hits that Lamar Jackson takes on a consistent basis. And that's what I'm talking about. Lamar is electric. There are things that Lamar Jackson can do as a running quarterback that nobody else other than the last name of Vic can do. But he takes hits like Vic did, and he gets hurt. And while Justin Fields, you can say, well, Justin Fields can't throw. No, I got you. That's fine. All that criticism is worth it. But I'm telling you, man, when he takes off with the ball and he's got just a sliver of a lane, it's like Sonic. And all of a sudden, he's just collecting coins in the end zone, man. It's crazy. And I stand by that. I don't care. I will take all the flack for it. It's about being efficient as a running quarterback and not taking hits. And I don't see Fields taking the hits that Lamar does.
So you know what you do? You make him a backup and put him in the sprint, put him in the spread during interesting things. Yeah, I'm sorry. He is a liability as a thrower, and you can't have that.
The problem is in the NFL, gimmick packages don't work, and gimmicks don't work for very long. So that would be the hard one. And lastly, in an absolute snooze fest, Broncos 28, Bengals 3. This game sucked. And I do agree with that. Hold on. Yeah. I do agree with shout out to Jamal, head coach of the Falls Rapids. He's better at throwing when the pocket moves for him. I 100% agree. I think it's okay to keep him as a starter. I'm just saying, man, when he gets running and maybe you throw a couple more designs in there, let him be shorter yardage runs so he's not trying to break 20, 30. Man, he's electric, and he's hard to bring down when he's out there in the open field. Yeah, but yeah. So
also, I will say real quick about the Broncos Bengals. For all those that were saying that Joe Burrow was a system quarterback after the Jake Browning win, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I think this proves that Joe Burrow was just as much in the MVP conversation as Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Joe Burrow is one of the top 3 most valuable quarterbacks in all of the NFL because the Bengals are absolute garbage truck juice without him. And they have Jamar Chase, and they have T. Higgins, and they have Chase Brown, and they are still absolute garbage truck juice on offense because no one can make up for that offensive line other than Joe Burrow. Alrighty, let's get to. Sorry,
hold on, I went too far.
I did that to you. Let's get to Thursday night, and for all of my fantasy owners, I've got some alerts for you. Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, both out for tonight's game.
As is Brock Purdy.
So, yeah.
So not a great game to watch.
Justin Fields, the 36th ranked player in fantasy football right now. I'm justified in my
the Jets are 0-4.
Ray only cares about fantasy. Okay, so
I know.
So we've got a division rivalry here tonight. We've got 49ers at Rams. Hammer those Rams. Hammer some of those parlays. I'll be trying to cook one up if I got $1 left in my FanDuel. I don't think I do. Then we get to Sunday at 1. Vikings at Browns. Oh, in London. That's an early one. If you have any Vikings, if you have any Vikings in your fantasy team, I know you don't have any Browns. So make sure you get those guys in early. Cowboys at Jets in a snooze fest. Giants at Saints. Let's go Jackson Dart. Raiders at Colts. Absolute snooze fest. Wait a minute. Dolphins at Panthers. Coma. Then we've got Broncos at Eagles.
Okay.
Sure, I guess.
No, that's a good game.
That is, if the Broncos show up. Texans at Ravens.
I mean, I think it'll be a close game because former Dallas quarterback Cooper Rush is starting for the Baltimore Ravens. But it would have been a fun game to watch if Lamar Jackson was playing. It is a close but snooze fest now that he is no longer playing.
I mean, yes, but here we're gonna get better. Titans at Cardinals.
It is not any better. Let's move it along.
Man. Sunday at 4. Here we go. Buccaneers at Seahawks. I like this one. We asked if Seattle was real.
This is a test.
This is a test because we know these Buccaneers can score points. We know these Buccaneers are a decent team. So we will see what happens there. Lions at Bengals. Oh, my God, what a good game that could have been. But that's just awful. And then in a battle of two teams that I just are super mid right now, Washington at Commanders at Chargers.
Yeah, honestly, I think the fact that both these teams are kind of teetering on, are we going to be okay this year, or are we just kind of pack it in for next year? This is an early statement to see if either team can really go, no. We are going to vie for the playoffs this year. And I think that's what this game is about.
I mean, 100%, but I don't. It's mid still. Sunday night. Hey Drake May, are you the truth? Are you the third overall pick? Patriots at Bills. Any chance, or is this just Bills by 100?
No, I mean, will the Bills win? I believe so, but I am hopeful for a good Drake May performance, because this Bills defense has not shown that it's been the Bills defense of before, where it's lights out. So there is some chance that Patriots can actually put up some points. They just put up 42 last week. Like, I know it's not nothing. Even no matter what team it is, it's not nothing.
Excuse me. I agree. I agree. I was just setting up the question. Excuse me. And then Monday night, Kansas City at Jacksonville. Is this Kansas City offense back and rolling? Is this Jacksonville defense good enough to allow Trevor Lawrence to make a couple mistakes and still win a football game?
I genuinely, this is the second time that the Chiefs are playing just a team that is so middling that they're just going to control this game from start to finish. I'm expecting the same score as the Giants game, where it was 28-6 and Giants really had no chance. I believe that's going to be the same story here. And so Chiefs 28-6. I think they kind of just control this game completely.
I agree. Although it's going to be harder than it was last week, though, because this Jags defense is really good. But that Jags defense is going to have to come through on a Monday night and literally score
over and over again.
And even score some points for their offense to really make that a game. And then we do finally have some teams on a bye, our first bye week of the year. The Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, who absolutely need one after getting punched in their guts by this Dallas Cowboys offense. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who Aaron Rodgers is on his ayahuasca visit, needs a reset for the year. And then the Atlanta Falcons, who have two quarterbacks and may not have a quarterback, but we'll see. Michael Penix Jr. up and down, Kirk Cousins just somewhere in the wind. But yeah. All right.
I don't think he likes that very much.
You don't think he likes that? Was very well done, sir. That was a me one, and that way to sneak that in there. All right, Drew. It isn't all about Rapids football and bakery. We like to do a lot of good things here at the Straub Sports Show, so we have some stuff to bring. I want to take a second to let you know this weekend, Jacob's Heart, a foundation we've worked with on the Rapids before, is having a Bowling for Kids Chinese auction bowling ball raffle 50-50 and some 9-pin bowling at the Hunt Club Lanes, 188 Railroad Street, Salem, Ohio, and that is October 4th at 1 o'clock. $50 per couple. Mixed couples only, please. To register, call 330-271-9330 or 330-271-9668, 330-697-9670, or message them on Facebook. Probably would be helpful if I didn't cut myself off before my own commercial, but hey, it is all good. Yeah, please check out Jacob's Heart, the bowling event that they have going on this week. Now, Drew, we had some disappointment in Big Bro's NFL bets.
Oh, okay. We're not. Oh, that's tough. But I was gonna say we didn't get to the part where I'm gonna be disappointed yet.
No, not yet. 23-8 against the money line is outstanding, but yes, we missed the big boy by one game. The Chargers chargered and blew it for us.
They did chargered.
Yeah. So that's disappointing, but it's a fresh week, Drew, and we're back and even bigger. Pause. Vikings minus 190. Shut up. Vikings minus 194 against the Browns. Dylan Gabriel's gonna have 6 interceptions in the first quarter. Give me the upset-minded Giants plus 104. Mix it in with the Colts minus 330. Eagles minus 198. Cowboys minus 142. We're playing the Jets. Everybody calm down. Lions minus 520. Bills minus 430. Mix it all up, sprinkle it together, and you got a plus 1418. And who? And
Hey, man, you don't believe in
oh,
Dylan Gabriel?
listen, and first of all, I do not hate on Aaron Rodgers. I just make fun of him because he's a stoner.
He's a
And always
weirdo.
wants to know if you're vaccinated, which is, dude, you come up with me and tell me my opinions, or you're gonna ask for my opinion with the starting question of are you vaxxed? You're gonna throat chopped. But 14-18, mix that parlay together. Let's get rich this weekend.
Yes,
Browns.
sir. Yes, they are. I have absolutely no faith in my franchise for the foreseeable future.
Listen,
But yeah,
we
they
got
are.
busted. We got busted last week, but we're 23-8. So we're gonna ride this. Maybe take the Browns out. Maybe take a team tour out if you don't feel as
Keep the Browns in. Please keep the Browns in.
All right, Drew. So that'll do it for the NFL. It's time to switch over to soccer. But before we get to soccer, yeah, I'm forcing these in this week. I didn't spread them out as evenly as I wanted to because I made a mistake on something, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I got one more for you before we get to
pay the
soccer.
bills.
I have one last one, and this one I'm very, very proud of, and it means a lot. I brought it up last week, and here is some more information. I want to take a second to let you know.
Today I want to talk to you about Ani's Army Foundation. Started by Mark and Lynn Meyer to honor their daughter Annika, Ani's Army Foundation was formed to raise money for the research of medulloblastoma tumors and other pediatric cancers, while making a positive impact on the community and helping those families in need. Here on the website, anisarmy.org, you can follow Ani's story, a story of strength and the love that her family has with her and she has with them as she fights this battle. Here on the website, if you can, please donate via Venmo, credit card, PayPal, cash, or check. Any donation is loved and any donation is appreciated. Thank you.
Boom. I had to record it. Hard to listen. Those are hard to do. But I had to record that so I don't have to do that live every week or I'm never going to get through it. Drew, it's time to talk some footy.
Do we have to?
Yes. Okay. If I have to talk about it, you have to talk about it.
Although I did say that you were going to lose this week because of your arrogance, and it did happen. So
yeah, it's my arrogance. Yeah,
it is. You are directly impacting the United team.
I'd impact that team. All right, Roy Keane's is in there. Yeah, Brighton 3-1 winners over a reeling Chelsea team who is now kind of struggling to find some form ever since they started playing Alejandro Garnacho. Shout out to you. Manchester United.
Go
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Talk about your team.
I was going to say first, if we include the Benfica win in the Champions League this week, this is now 3 straight games with a red card. And thankfully, it was late enough in the game where it didn't matter, but it seems the second we go down to 10 men, everything falls apart. We were up. Brighton did not have a shot on target until that red card. And then all of a sudden, we did not have a single spell of possession.
You need to go back a game further because you had a red against me that cost you as well.
Well, that was so early in the game that I didn't put any weight onto it because we had to play. We only lost by 1, and we played almost a full 90 minutes. This one, we played 60 minutes of great football, scored 1, and then as soon as the red card comes, we go down to 10 men. I know it's hard, but a team of this caliber and this level should be able to hold a goal lead with 10 men, and it seems like all of our integrity and defensive mentality just goes out the window as soon as it happens, and I don't know why. It boggles my mind.
I mean, questions asked that need to be answered for this Chelsea squad. Brentford 3, Manchester United 1. I mean, this team can't put 2 quality results back to back to save their effing lives. All kinds of rumors swirling around Ruben Amorim's job to the point where there's actually been a rumor that he himself might step down even before he has a chance to be fired. Who knows what you read into the English papers, notorious for not truthful soccer rumors, but it's a mess. The fact that he just continues to play this goddamn 3 in the back when it just clearly does not work for our roster construction. I just don't get it anymore. And I don't know what to do anymore. or say. I know it's very early to be completely defeated, but I'm seeing the same exact crap I saw last year. So why would I not feel the exact same way?
No, and that's the question I was kind of going to bring up. Was I know he's been here a little bit, and I think you're kind of at a inflection point where you need to say no. You like this needs to give time. This is a multi-year project, or do you cut the cord now? And I think that's kind of the point you have to be at soon. Maybe not right now, but soon.
Here's my problem, okay? And allow me to downplay your club for just a second in a somewhat non-disrespectful way. The bad season that you had, number one, doesn't compare to the multiple bad seasons we've had.
We had 2 to 3. I don't want to.
In Liverpool's rebuild, they never dipped down that far. In Arsenal's rebuild, a 7th place finish was as far as it dipped. You are talking about a team that fought off relegation, was closer to relegation for more of last year than they were to Europe. You're talking about a team now, and I know you don't have a table, but a team that now is still closer to the relegation zone probably than, I don't know the exact points, but than they are to Europe. It's not getting better. Yeah. I can go last year and pick out results that looked exactly like the Chelsea game. I can find them all scattered throughout all of last year.
Yeah.
I don't have consistency. What's going on, Bobby Rose Jr., all-star kicker? We don't have.
You're in a great segment, Bobby. Don't worry about it.
We don't have consistency whatsoever. And it's not even squad rotation because, yes, he moves some guys around, but it's mostly the same guys playing, and the results are not there consistently. And I'm going to do something for the first time that I haven't done. I think I'm going to do something that some pundits have started to do. Gary Neville has defended him. Roy Keane's ripped him apart. It's time to start questioning my captain. It's time to start questioning whether or not Bruno Fernandes is actually a captain and actually can captain this team to a consistency, not him scraping us out for some points every once in a while and keeping us afloat. But I don't know if he has the right, whatever it is that makes somebody a captain. You don't ask to be captain. You're awarded it. You become it. You're given it. I was blessed. I held that title for 3 years in high school. I did it on a club team. I was able to be a captain. I earned that. It takes a different level of leadership and it takes a different style of person. Roy Keane, the greatest captain in Manchester United, has been so critical of him and said he can't do it and he's not good enough and he doesn't have the right attitude and he doesn't have the right mentality. I think it's time to start thinking about that.
And I think that's very understandable, especially given, listen, not many attackers are given the captainship, and that's just because when you are an attacker and when you're going forward, you're not positioning guys, you're positioning yourself in best positions and doing that. And obviously that's more of a on-field thing, but it also is shown on the off the field, or I guess off the game pace of play, where he's not dragging guys through. He's not showing them what to do. He is either complaining to the referee or running to take the free kick. And so that's definitely something that I think needs to be talked about. And that is I think an inflection point for Amorim himself to say this needs to be done to potentially save my job.
Yeah, but I don't even know who you would give it to at this point, to be honest with you. But there, I took your depressing soccer segment and I checkmated you. So then we'll just sprinkle a little bit on top. Arsenal, 2-1 victors over Newcastle. Arsenal's back.
No, it took 2 goals in the 90th minute against a bad Newcastle team to even scrape out a win here. Will not give them any credit at all whatsoever.
I love it. All right, so here we go. Your fixtures of match week 7. I cannot believe Cincinnati made the graphic this week. I shouldn't be allowed on the graphic. We're going to start on the bottom.
I give you it every time.
Manchester United at Sunderland. Whatever, dude. Sure. 2-2. This has got 2-2 written all over it.
It really does. It really does.
So
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but I could see that scoreline next week on the graphic.
I actually think I'm going to go bet $1 on it when we're done with the show. I'm going to bet $1
That's
on
a good idea.
Line 2-2. But the actual big one, Liverpool at Chelsea, Drew, is a visit from league leading Liverpool. Just the little bit of medicine that Chelsea needs to get up and get the season righted.
It's so funny because when you said that, my whole mentality went, hold on, because when I was ready to go into the segment to go, listen, we are completely disjointed right now. Liverpool is a well-run machine right now. This is giving 3-1, overmatched, overpowered. But for some reason, especially with Enzo Maresca at the helm, we punch above our weight class so often that I'm not saying it'll happen because I like I said, I could see a 3-1 scoreline, Liverpool solid 2 goals running away with this. Absolutely. I could also see this being a 2-1 Chelsea win with us hanging on for dear lives in the last 10 minutes. So am I expecting the worst? Absolutely. But am I hoping and can see the best happening? Absolutely. Because, like I said, this has a two goal and 1 assist performance by Mo Salah written all over it, but it also has a Enzo Fernandez wild shot going through and then a Cole Palmer finishing it off kind of game as well. I am hopeful in this game for some reason. I think it's the Benfica result during the week that has given me this mentality, but there's hope. But I'm also expecting a 3-1 loss. And questions from Maresca's job, unwarranted and as they may be, getting brought up on Sunday.
I think the Liverpool result this week actually can help you. Yeah. Liverpool lost this week in the Champions League. I think there's been a big dip in form for them, and you may just be able to take advantage of it.
And Allison reported hamstring injury, will be out for the next 2 months.
2-1 Chelsea. Done. and that's how we'll finish it up. All right, Drew, we are running extremely late due to the unfortunate setting of us having to start after that Guardians game. Well, we didn't
ranting the entire time.
Yeah, and a whole lot of ranting. First 2 hours show in a long time. We apologize. But yeah, that'll do it for us here on the Straub Sports Show. Yeah, you better apologize over there because I'm gonna have to go do my own apologizing here in a second. Drew, anything else for the people?
I actually have something, but first, thank you for everyone liking, commenting, sharing, however you digest this podcast. Absolutely, thank you so much. It helps you so much. But also, want to give a shout out. I haven't talked about the men's team because I don't want to talk about the men's team, but the U.S. U20 team is in the World Cup, U20 World Cup right now. 3-0 wins against France to put them into the knockout stages. Absolutely amazing win. Obviously, we as soccer fans know, France team top to bottom as a system is amazing. So a great win there. Really, really well done there. The U.S. do have some games coming up next week. We may talk about them. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out myself. But for the time being, great job from the U20s. And that gives us some hope coming in next year is that it's not just this generation of kids. We got some people coming up through the pipeline.
And I'm going to steal from you, Americans Abroad, Christian Pulisic on fire right now. But
absolutely on fire.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't talk about them right now.
Appreciate that, Pops. Appreciate that, Ray. That'll do it for us here on the Straub Sports Show. Will you see you next week? And please remember to love yours.
Hey, Ken's got fire.